Hi guys, and welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture, we are going to look at how to use the media encoder, Adobe Media Encoder, to export from After Effects and to create videos that are good enough for or excellent quality for YouTube and Vimeo and other applications if you would like. Now, you know very well that you can come to composition and go to add to render queue. But we come to lossless, for example, the options here are not viable to put them on the web. You have QuickTime, and then QuickTime, yes, you can put it on the web. It will be better to have, for example, MP4s and more, I would say, compression. Cool. So let's look at the media encoder. If you come here, say composition, add to media encoder. Now, immediately the media encoder will open up like you have seen if you have done the good installation. Media encoder is free from Adobe, but you will require a subscription at least in Adobe After Effects. Cool. So notice that it has brought our composition over here and is suggesting H264. This is what I used before. You can see that I was preparing for the lecture. I put YouTube here. So if you click on the arrow here next to H264, you will find that you have almost the same options as rendering within Adobe After Effects, but there is more than that. What I will do, I will just come to web video, and you notice you have Vimeo and YouTube at the end. Of course, you can come to TV broadcast. If you are doing something important, you have H264 here, and you can come and mess up with them. What's interesting are the devices here where you have Android, Apple, Kindle, mobile, Nook, and TiVo, whatever. And in the Android, you have so many resolutions that you can use. And notice it's all H264, and this is an important one. Now, we come back to YouTube here, and in YouTube you have 5 options: either low resolution and low resolution wide, or you have the 720 1080 up to 2160. That's pretty interesting. That's what we call the 4K. I will choose my motion intro and double click at 1080. Now notice what happened. It did not remove the 720, it added another one. So actually, if I press the green button here to start the rendering, it will give me 2 MP4s that I can use later on. But let's delete one of them. To delete one, you just select it and press the minus over here. Of course, you can come, like you've seen, add very many compositions here and do them at one time. That's okay. Fine. This is for YouTube 720 or YouTube even 1080. Here you are. So let's remove the 1080. So we have only 720. This is actually everything about the encoder. Is as simple as this. You can come to Vimeo and you have the settings for Vimeos. Now, if you come over here to YouTube and click, it will open all the settings for this 720. Here you have, first of all, the format is H264. If you change it, it's at your risk, but H264 is the best. So I'm using that preset. You can also output name, change the output name to wherever you want. There is a summary. If you play with the video here, usually I prefer match source. It will be quite okay. I have the frame rate here, 29.97. It's progressive, whatever. These are all settings already done for you. If you want to dig into that, it is not a subject of this course, but really this is about video and what is VBR and the first pass and stories like this. Is not about After Effects, is about videos here. You have the multiplexer is MP4 and the streaming is standard. If you have captions where you want to publish it, you can come and dig in it and make changes. But now, for peace of mind, just use the preset, do not make any changes. You can also view your animation here and decide, okay, this is good, this is the one I want. I will cancel here, and I'm ready now to start rendering and creating the video. We can set the folder here. You can click on it and come and decide which folder you want to put it in. Let's cancel here. I am ready to render and export the animation. I will click on the green button and it will start. Notice that this option here is slower than the one that you will find in Adobe After Effects directive rendering from the comp. So it will also show you what's happening. I will pause here. When it's ready, I will show you what's happening at the end. Cool. Now it has rendered completely, and we can go back and see our movie. I'll just click here and it will open where the MP4 has been saved. I will just double click and it's over here. I will just double click on it. It will open it for me. It's going to open in VLC Media. And here is our movie playing. We have now quality. So that was about how to render using the Adobe Media Encoder. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you in the next lecture. Hi guys, and welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture, we want to learn how to create a video with a transparent background. Now notice what is the background here. Actually, if I come to composition and I go to composition setting, I put a background for the composition. Several times during the course, I told you this is not a background. This is just a color that you will put in the back. If you want to create good backgrounds, you should use the solid layers and do some effects or something like this. But now I worked on this one and I have my animation and I want any background. How do I define what is a background? How do I define that there will be transparency? The first way to check is to come to your small button here. It says show channel and color management setting. I will click on it. I will see RGB, red, green, blue, and alpha. Now I think I already talked about these things. For now, let's go to alpha. Alpha, it means this is the channel of non-transparent layers, and it is channel of transparent layers, meaning everything in white is not transparent and everything in black is transparent. So when you come to your alpha channel, whatever you see in white will be there. If I go, for example, to the red, you notice that I have a background. This background contains some red. So of course it's not transparent background here. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the red channel. If I go, for example, to the blue, also I can see that my background here, the color I put, is having some blue. So I'll go back to alpha, and if I render with RGB and alpha, we'll see that I will have only this in my video. Let's do that. Let's go back to RGB here. So let's go to composition and go to add render queue. Now in the render queue here, you have three main parameters, in fact two main parameters. I don't like using the small arrow here unless I have set some presets. I will go to lossless. Now in lossless, I can have AVI and I can have QuickTime. The rest, I don't think you will be able to use them. They are just sequences or something like this. If you are on Windows, choose AVI. Actually, if you choose AVI or QuickTime, it will be the same. I will choose AVI here just for the sake because I'm Windows, and I will come to channels. If I look at channels, I have RGB and alpha. I will click on RGB from alpha. Now, when I have RGB and alpha, it means it's going to show me the RGB channels, and the alpha channels, meaning the non-transparent channels, will be shown. And I come to format options here. You notice I only have the video codec and it's not interesting. They are too sophisticated here for our small motion graphics. I will leave them alone. I will come back. Now I can make a video AVI that has no background. Let's try it. I will press OK. I will go to the output to make sure that I'm doing it in the right place. And it's okay for me here. Let me delete this one. This was a test I did. I will create a motion intro 1. I will save. I will come and say render. Of course, it's going to render. This is a very small one. It might take a few minutes or even less, few seconds. Okay, so now it has finished rendering. That's very nice. How do I know that my video has been created AVI and it is not having a background? Okay, we will do something else also here. We will come to motion. The composition, will go to composition, and we go to add to render queue again, and we go to best setting, and here we have quality is the best. I will leave it like this, but the resolution, I'm gonna take it to quarter. Now notice the video has become smaller. It's 480 by 270, but the quality will remain intact. The quality will be very good. I will click OK. Now I will come to lossless again, but I will not use AVI. I will change to QuickTime. When I come to QuickTime, if you notice here, I have certain options here. I will go to format options. If you choose H.264, it's not gonna work. H.264 does not support, transparent background. You can check it out. I put X264, I come RGB and alpha is shaded out. You cannot use it. I'll go back to format. Now, what to choose here? You can use JPEG 2000, but the best is to use animation. Your file will have a large size, but it's okay if you really need this option of transparent background. I will use animation. And of course, I want the best quality. If I click OK, in animation here, I have RGB and alpha. So remember, when you're using QuickTime, you use animation as the format options and not H.264. You can use JPEG, I think, but of course, animation is the best quality. You go for it. Cool. Now I will come back and I want to render this one again. I will click on render and it will render it. Now, this is a very easy process and it's quite speedy. Here you are, it has finished now. Let's go and test our videos. We have 2 videos that we have rendered and we want to see if they are really working. I will go to a professional software such as Camtasia. Camtasia is pro, is very good. If you don't have it, then maybe you can download a trial version and see what you can do with it. But actually, this is quite sophisticated software and it will render very good MP4s for you in small size. Nevertheless, on the Mac, even there is a better version than the one on Windows. I will import the media. That is intro and intro 1, I think. Yes, one is AVI and one is MOV. Cool. I'll click OK. You notice the AVI guy is very, very big size. In Camtasia, I have here a JPEG, just a photo. I put on the background here. I will take the video and drop it above the image. Notice it has no background. This is my .mov or the QuickTime movie. If I take the AVI now and also drop it above, you notice that my AVI, which is a high resolution, also doesn't have a background. So what I could do here is just to start, bringing in the movies and compiling. Of course, it doesn't make sense that you render a movie with no background and come and put it here and just put it on top of a composition. I don't advise you to do that. You don't do that. There is another method to compile a movie here or to create a movie and use it. This one we'll see in the next lecture. It's a pretty advanced level. Cool, guys. So to create your transparent background movie, you come to channel first of all, you check your alpha channel, you see what's going to appear. Then you can come back to render queue, composition, add to render queue, change your lossless, for example, and you put it AVI or QuickTime and go to format. For QuickTime, you choose animation, and for AVI, there is no choice to be made here. You just go to RGB and alpha for both of them. And you have a transparent background video or a video where the alpha channel is working fine. Thank you very much for listening. And this is how to create your RGB plus alpha or transparent background videos. See you in the next lecture. Hi guys, and welcome to this new lecture where we will learn how to create a GIF image. A GIF image, maybe you already know it, is a moving image. It has some kind of movie inside it. Now, we cannot create a GIF image directly from After Effects. We need to use Photoshop. So the first thing to do is to create a movie in After Effects. Then you take it to Photoshop and there you will create the image. Let's do that together. So we come to composition and say add to render queue. If you add to render queue, you will come to best setting and you have quality best, resolution full. Now, it's not advisable to create a GIF that is 1920 by 1080. It will take very long to load and it won't be interesting. Let's reduce the resolution. Let's say we take it to quarter. Now the video became 480 by 270. But that doesn't mean that the quality has been corrupted. In fact, you will get very high quality for this size, not really resolution. So we keep all the other parameters the same. We click OK. Let's go to lossless, and in lossless, maybe you create a QuickTime better than AVI. AVI will be quite a big file. Now do not render with RGB alpha, otherwise the background will be white. We keep it to RGB. We come to options. You can either use animation or use H.264. They're both pretty good. But since you are using Adobe products, animation will do fine. It will be very good resolution. I'll keep it on animation. And I will click OK here. Everything is done. I will just start rendering. And notice how animation will run so fast. Cool. Now that I have created the video, I need to go to Photoshop. From Photoshop, you will open the video, say File, Open, and you see you have motion intro here, 5 megabyte. That's okay. We open it. It will take some time to open, but then it will open quite, nicely. Notice that a new panel has opened in Photoshop. This panel is called the timeline panel here. But also you can see your movie here. You can really watch your video and even play it and see exactly what you are going to get. If it shows you a still image, it means there is something wrong, but animation will always show you the movie and you can preview it here. Fine. Now, how do I create a GIF image? That's very easy, by the way. You come to File and you say Save for the Web. Save for the Web, you can choose here GIF. Some people call it GIF. I prefer to call it GIF. You can have the third or not, and the option for GIF, the one that you want. I will leave it to 128. And when you come to looping option here, just make it forever. So it loops continuously. Notice I have a background here. Cool. I will save in the same folder and I press OK. So now we need to open it in one of the browsers. I will use Chrome. I will click to open Chrome, and simply I will drag the GIF from the folder to inside Chrome. Here you are. Let me bring the browser over here. So I can take the motion here. You see this is a GIF image, and drag it inside Chrome, and it will open, and you have it as a GIF here. Of course, if you're doing a website, maybe you want to put it in the right place. And this is how you create a GIF image. Now, I have done a lot of work with GIF images, and these are the one I send sometimes in the announcements for the course. You can do really a 25-second video here, make it a GIF. It will work very nice. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next lecture for another trick of exporting from After Effects. Hi guys, in this lecture you are going to discover how to export a single comp and its pre-comps and its related footage into a new project, and this is very important. For example, here we have this download. I hope you downloaded it, that has so many compositions and pre-compositions. This is, I think, section 2 or 3. But now all I want is this animation, and I want all its pre-comps to become a new project. And that is important. I want to render it. I want it to stand alone. How do I do that? Well, this is pretty easy in After Effects. This was an option after CS6, if I remember well. You will come to File, and in File, you will say Dependency, Collect Files. Now, it always open None, Project Only. If you leave that option, it will export or duplicate this project altogether, which is totally useless. Then what you do, you select 4 selected comps. Now, when you choose 4 selected comps, you are not choosing the comps that are in the timeline. You are choosing the comps that are selected in your project. You could have selected 2 or 3 of them. And then you can generate a report if you'd like, and you can obey proxy. We didn't do that yet. But the most important is a reduce project. When you select reduce project, you will be only exporting this composition with all its pre-comps and footage, if any. If you don't choose reduce project, then you will just duplicate that project that you're working on. So I will click reduce project. And actually, this is all you have to do here. You say collect, and it will ask you for the directory. Here, I'm gonna call it project export folder. So it's gonna put everything in a folder. I will say save. And we have our new project with the project export here. I will rename this one project export -ex for export, for example. And notice I'm still in my initial project. It did not open the exported project. So what I will do, I will say File, let's say Open Project, and go to Bring in Project Export EX. Of course, I'm opening a new file. I will click Open. So the old file has been closed and saved maybe. And here I am. I have a new project called Project Export EX, for example. And my pre-comp is here, or my composition is here. My project is here. And all its pre-comp. If I had any footage or any solids, they will be here. And here you are. This is how to export a pre-comp to make it a single project. Fine, that is very beautiful. In the next lecture, I will show you how to import this pre-comp into a big project or a different project. See you then. Hi guys, in this lecture I want to create a demo. So I'm putting my first composition here, and this is my demo composition that I want to render and create a movie. Unfortunately, my other composition or my other project is in another file. How do I bring the other file into, or the other project into this project, save them all together and create my demo? So now this is pretty easy. I will right click in the project and say import and file. And then you remember in the previous lecture, we saved that project export EX that contains only a single composition with its pre-composition and footage, and we put it aside as a project. So now I want to import that one. I will import it inside here. Now notice what it has done here. It has created a folder, project export-exp.aep, and this is very useful. It means this folder has imported material. It is not original in this project. Of course, you can come and rename it, but at the first sight, you know you have imported this project, and I find it very useful. And when I'm working, I don't change the name. I keep it .eap to know exactly this is the source name. Then if you drill down, you notice that there is another folder. This is the original folder of the project that you have imported in, and it has all the pre-composition and the composition. So let's look at this one. I think this is the one we want to put here. Fine. So I will come to demo and just drop it in and maybe move it to this side and just play them both. And I have my demo. Here you are. This is the way to import a project inside After Effects other projects, and you can create your demos, and it's very useful. Unfortunately, there is no dynamic link between two projects in After Effects, at least as much as I know. You cannot link two projects or two compositions dynamically in two different files on your storage media. Now, thanks very much for listening, and I hope you can create your projects and really organize them on your storage media, and then come back, import them one by one, and create a global project where you can create a demonstration or a whole sequence of kinetic typography and tell your story. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next lecture.